Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic, and this is another reaction to Steins Gate. It will be episode 16, and you know what to do. As always, if you want to see the reaction itself, just go down into my descriptions. You will find a link, follow it, replace the circumflex dot parts with real dots, and you will see the reaction. Once you've done, feel free to come back here to hear out my thoughts about this episode. So, see you soon. For those of you that came back, welcome back. Now let's see. There was an interesting mix this episode for me when it came to feelings. You know, there are kind of feelings of happiness about that Daru and Suzuha found each other. About the fact that it seems that Mayushi is saved, which is definitely a good thing. But there is sadness in it as well because Suzuha is gone. And the only question is, has she had a good life or not? And it seems as though. But still, it is this question that looms in the back of your mind. Could there have been like a better option? But I think that's what life is. It's always this question. Could there have been a better decision? Could I have done it better than I did? So here we are stuck with this question. I'm not sure if we can answer that at all. So let's go through the episode. So they started off with this street trader informing them about the badge, and that someone asked him to make a badge that looks like that. So possibly that is how this badge in the end came to be. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy, which is always an interesting thing when it comes to time travel. So Suzuha is searching for the badge, which was created, one might guess, or someone asked it to be created, and by going there in time, she informed Daru about what this badge looks like and that she's searching for her father. He feels bad for her. By doing so, he goes to the trader and thus asks him to create the badge, which he will in the future hand over to her. So it is self-fulfilling. And there we are on one of those concepts of time which always blew your mind, because you never know what's going to happen. What if she didn't travel in time and she didn't tell him? Then he wouldn't have had the idea about the badge wouldn't have existed, and thus he couldn't have given it to her. Thus, how does it work, you know? But I see where it goes for. We have a little bit of playing with words, which we know more of in another series I react to right now, where they do this all the time. So the fact barrel, he looks like a barrel, and barrel tighter, we had already, is about his outer appearance. The fact that Daru is a bit more of a bigger person, you know? And barrel is translated into Taru, which I didn't know. So, and Taru and Daru sounds very much alike, so possibly that's why the street trader thought about it. He heard Daru, that he named himself Daru. He thought of Taru, and he looks like a barrel, might guess. Very fitting. So we have the fact that why does Daru do it? It is in the end because he feels bad for Suzuha before he even knows it's his daughter. Because he realized she can only go back in time, not forward again. So once she jumps back in time with this time machine, she will be stuck there, and that's it. She could possibly go further back in time, but she will never ever be able to go back forward in time, back to them in the end, to the friends they have, or back to the time that she lived in before, hoping to have time with her dad. So it is a one-way street, and that is, even if you're dead, I will find new friends and everything. That is something that is not easily done. Even nowadays, if a kid goes away from home, you know, the parents are always extremely sad. For the kids, in very many ways, for the young adults, it's more like free for the first time. But even then, we all possibly had that. It is a stretch, you know. It is you're cutting off your bonds. But even then, they are not out of this world, you know. your family, your friends, they are still living maybe in the same city or in the same state, in the same country, whatever. Even if you're going to a complete different country overseas, maybe marrying someone or whatever, you know, and you are far away from those you have grown up with, there is nowadays still the chance you can go on a plane and fly back. If you want to, if you really miss them, you can go back for a week, for a month, whatever you see fit. But if you go through time, that's it. They are gone, you know, and especially in this case, they are gone. Especially because we have already seen this idea of different timelines. Even if she could have gone back forward in time, by changing the time, she would have never met the exact same persons. She would have met versions of them in the future, but their lives might have been different because of the changes in time that she did. So it's a complicated thing, but in the end, when you go backwards in time, you're mostly stuck, or even if you can go back, you changed stuff, and it might happen that people have changed a lot due to it. So that's something to bear in mind. I like the fact that Okarin Rintaro is soft inside. We could see it here again when Daru informed him about the fact that she can never go forward again, that she will be lost there, you know. That's when he instantly promised to her that he will try everything he can to change the future. I mean, in many ways, he already did that, and he already promised it, but it's one more weight on his shoulders, one more thing, one more reason to do it. They keep piling up. I mean, there's no question. They keep piling up out of the little experiment with the machine in the beginning of the first episodes, you know, has become a burden by now. He has the burden of Suzua's destiny now, of the destiny of all the world, which up to this moment in very many ways was just vague, you know. The future depends on you. Yeah, well, nice, but it's always a thing if you're reading something about so and so many people being poor, so and so many people dying of a specific disease, whatever. It has no face. It is just well, that's horrifying and bad and everything, but we are used to not let it touch us too much. But in the moment when you meet someone of those millions, if the moment when you meet the first person who has a specific issue of health, or is raised in another country and raised very poor, when you first meet those persons, when you talk to them, then this becomes something with a face, and then it gets personal. And this is why Suzua was so important. She brought the danger for the future that we are talking about all the time. She brought it in and she gave it a face. She talked from her personal experience what it means to live in such a world. So this chip is now on the shoulder of Rintaro, and additionally he has the thing with Mayushi on his shoulders because he's aware something might go wrong again. So he has to be prepared. He has to work on this just in case it happens again. And that was a close call. I mean, it seems we evaded that shot now when it comes to Mayushi, but we lost Suzuha. But it was a close shot, and it was just, in many ways, it was pure luck right now. And you never know what else is going to happen. We are not finished yet. So, a lot of me talking. Sorry, there's, as I said, this episode really brings in a lot of emotions and a lot of thoughts in my head. We then finally saw the name of the time machine, FG204, second version, and so on and so forth. So it was clear it was made by Daru, but the FG was Future Gadget. So there was something, I don't know, but I think they didn't show it before. But if, then I missed it. So 204 shows that there's a lot of future gadgets in the future, which gives us kind of hope, you know. They I like the fact that it was Mayushi that figured it out. So there are those incredibly clever two scientists in the middle of this picture here, you know? They didn't figure it out. It was Mayushi, who is not stupid, but she's emotional, and that's the thing. That's possibly why she's the best one to figure it out. She saw the FG, which the others didn't realize, sure, but she had more of the all those parts that fell into place than the others. Okarin and Marquise were much more busy with working, you know, with theories and the whole situation, what's going on, while Mayushi is, even if it is in problems and in panic and everyone has pressure, she is still looking after the people. She's still feeling the emotions. She's still looking how is everyone feeling, and that's why she realized this bond between the two, between Daru and Suzuha, much earlier than anyone else and much deeper than anyone else. So it's very fitting that she's the one who realized the truth, and I like it. We had we had one nice moment with the fact that they brought in the bike. That was a very nice idea. I like it a lot. We had one creepy moment again with Daru, even after she told him she's his daughter, asked for, what does your mom look like? Does she have nice boobs? I mean, seriously, dude, he cannot stop it. What the fuck? But she grinned at him and kept it a secret, which I like. So it's more like, yeah, well, okay, my dad's a creep. I'm not so surprised, you know. And she keeps it a secret, which is nice for us. Maybe we will learn in this series who it is. Maybe not. Maybe it isn't important. We will see. So she travels back 35 years in time. Sadly enough, the machine does not work completely because it was damaged by the storm too much, which, talking about ships on your shoulder, once again puts the ship on the shoulder of Okarin, because he made this mistake of not letting her go. Well, I'm not sure. Yeah, I can understand. He puts this on his own shoulders, and I can see why he then sends the D-mail. But we have a very strong thing there. In this case, in the form of Mayushi once again, who clearly states the one thing that he, well, I don't think he ignores it, but the one thing is, when he sends this D-mail, he deletes all of their memories, all of the good times, for everyone else except for him. And yes, he deletes the bad times as well. He makes sure that she isn't dying, you know, in the meaning of hanging herself. So he created a world where she never really talked so much with them and spent time with them. In a way, it is good for her, because when you read this last letter from her, that is an incredibly sad letter. It is the fact that you realize that all you stand for, all you tried to achieve, has gone to vain. And I can see that she hung herself afterwards. She didn't remember what to do, and woke up 24 years later. She had a life before, you know, possibly a good life as it seems. But then she woke up and she realized, I forgot my mission and I screwed it, you know? It's not her fault at all. Not at all. But by knowing what the future means, this is devastating. Because this is the moment when you realize you were the one who could have changed it. You were the one who swore to change it. And you let the world down. Because you had amnesia. Not your fault at all. But now it is over. You cannot undo it. She couldn't even travel back because the machine is done. So, in this moment, from this happy woman that she was at this time, she woke up and she realized all the future is dark. CERN is taking over. The future will be as she lived it before, and everything is done. And by doing so, by realizing so, she fell into deep despair. So I can understand the letter completely. I can even understand that she hung herself, which is sad and tragic. So here's the thing that Okarin thought about. I think that's why he did it. By sending the D-mail, he did not stop her before the storm. So she went before the storm came. She traveled back in time and had her memories. That's the thing. She never had this grief. She never had this despair, this deep struggle in herself. And thus she didn't hang herself. She died by disease. More or less about the same time. So time itself, once again, is making sure you die at a specific moment, I would say. But she lived a happy life, and even to the end, she was happy, you know? So that's something, because he likes her. He says, I do for you. I have to do it for you, because you are dear to me. But by doing so, and that is the flip side of the coin, he removed the time they had afterwards, when she was with them in the project. Removed the fact that she found her father. She never knows. She does not know now, because they never had this talk. It never happened. He removed the fact that Daru knows he had a daughter. He removed the times that Mayushi spent with them. So, the only one who knows all of this, all of the, not just the inside information about the father and daughter and everything, but about the emotional aspects, the only one now is Okarin. It is, in a way, selfish. Because he alone chooses what to do. He alone decides that Suzuha shouldn't have this grief, but she doesn't have the good times either. And he takes those good times from the others as well as the grief. Who can decide that? Who is the one who's able or allowed to decide that? No idea, man. That's a tough one. So, in the end, one might say he is the only one who can, because he's the one remembering all more and more and more. It will pile up. So it's more neither that one could say destiny made. By giving him the reading Steiner ability, destiny choose that he is the one who is allowed to decide. Good or bad, not judging. It might be the right decision, it might be the wrong. Because I don't think anyone could judge that. It's a hard thing to do. So, but he should be aware of the fact what he is doing, and Mayushi in this moment clearly states it to him what he is doing. You are stealing our precious memories, our time. You're stealing the good things we had with her. Yes, he did. Hopefully for the greater good. We will never know. Maybe we will know. I mean, there's still some episodes to go. So, as I said, this episode is partially depressing, partially uplifting, but it is very, very deep in thoughts about how this time works and everything. This time jumps. Yeah, then we have the thing about Mr. Brown. So he lived next to Suzuha in the past. He knew her. That's how he got the letter, or in this version now, no letter at all, because she didn't remember them. But he always says that she helped him out in the past. What she did there, and I like that a lot, is she set something into him. It is, I wrote it down, and I will possibly name this episode like it. Let me see. Man. Oh, wrong one. That's why. Oh crap, I cannot find it. However, it was more neither like, if you help others, it will come back to you. That's the general idea, you know? In time, very fittingly. And so that's why she helped him, and she stated, I help you, you will help someone else in the future. In the end, it will come back to me. And it is coming back to her. In this version, by the way, because she knew that it would come back, in the meaning of that the future gadget laboratory is on top of his shop, and he's the one lending this place to them for not much money, and is like, he's pretty generous in the end from what we've seen so far. He's more neither like, yeah, it's okay, I will not disturb you. So she helped Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown in the end helps the future gadget laboratory, which in the end will hopefully rescue the world. So it's good for everyone. Cleverly done. Question is, how is it he never realized that Suzuha from the present is the woman living next door from the past? Yes, it's something where you're like, that is strange. She looks much alike, but she has the same bike. And she doesn't look alike, she looks exactly the same when she was 19. So maybe he met her like 10, 15 years later. Okay. But even then, well, it's not easy. So, this is this. One thing I wrote down, which is strange again, it didn't happen, but it could have happened. So it was mentioned. If Suzuha would have lived on again from the past to the now of 2010, she would have been 54. So she traveled back from the future when she was 19, and her dad was possibly like 54. Let's just take that number. She traveled back into the time when her dad was more or neither her age. They meet each other. Then she travels back in time to and lives on until the moment when she's at the same time, 2010, and they meet again. He is about 20 something, and she is 54. So now she is old enough to be his mother. That's just weird. And now it gets complicated. Not saying that is good at all, but it could even possibly work out that she found a partner in her past, has a daughter with her partner in the past, who is now the age of Daru. They do not know who is who. They make out with each other. And the girl coming out of this relationship, which by the way should never ever happen, is Suzuha. That would be a full circle. It could work theoretically. What the frack? So, traveling time. So much fun. So, let's just go on. It seems as though we skipped over a problem. The time, not the time, the number changed on the, whatever the thing is called, I forgot it. So it went from .32, I think it was, to .40. So we have a change already, but it is still by far not big enough. We know that Suzuha made it to the past, lived on there, so we might guess that maybe she somehow tried to get the IBN. Maybe there is one in her old house, I would guess. Might be an option. Why not? Well, for sure, Mayushi is living at the moment, which is good. So we have like a second chance. We have a new point to start. And by the fact that Okarin knows more now, he might have chances to predict more what's going to happen and to start a new shot. Mainly the thing is that right now everyone has forgotten more neither everything that happened in the last episodes, except for him. So once again, a fresh start, and let's see what he makes with this chance. That's it from me this time. I'm looking forward to the next episode. I hope you do as well. And until then, please feel free to comment, to like, and to subscribe. And I see you on the next episode. My name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.